Happy Friday, everybody. And I do mean happy Friday. I'll tell you, this has been one heck of a week, okay? We have so many changes going on in the Doc of Detox and the International Training Institute of Health. Look I want to tell you something before we go on, but today's one-a-day is called what? Hope don't float. Know it or blow it. And that's the deal. You know what? Do you get tired of saying, I hope I can have this. I hope I can do this. I hope he loves me. I hope it works out. Okay? Listen to me. Everybody says hope, and I don't like hope. Hope is good. It's better than having no feeling that it's going to work out. But until you know it, you got to know I'm going to get well.
Right.
I really hope I get well. It's in God's hands. And then if you don't get well, we blame it on God, right?
Right.
Okay, so if Jesus wants it, if God wants it, if it's God's will, okay? No, it's teamwork that makes the dream work. I recognize that we are creator, but the thing is I'm going to tell you, there's 4 different types of people. There's people that do not believe in themselves and have no faith in our creator. Those people are completely lost, and usually what happens is suicide. Or they drink themselves to death, or they do drugs until they wipe their bodies out. Trust me, I've got family members that have gone through this and are going through it right now. Then you've got the next person. The next person, okay, says, I don't believe in God. I only believe in myself. Now, believe it or not, you're not going to like this, some of you, but you can heal yourself. If you totally believe and love yourself, and even if you don't believe in a creator, our creator has never judged us. Our creator has always loved us. This is just a personal feeling, so believe what you want. It's up to you. It's your game. But the reality is I have people coming to me, and I've been doing this for 40 years. And I'll have people come to me, and I don't believe in a creator. And I go, well, take a look around you. How could you not? Because I don't, because they've lost faith for some reason. But they totally believe they can get well, and they do. Now, are you ready for this? And this is why I know this. Not because of something I've been taught, but because you got to say, well, how do you know? What kind of research? Well, 40 years should do it, shouldn't it? So here's the deal. So now we got the person who actually doesn't believe in themselves, but they only believe in God. And that person actually does not get well as much as the person who doesn't believe in God, but believes in themselves. And that is the God's truth. Watch, and then you tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And by the way, this is Renee. She's here for a personal treatment and training, and we're going to talk to her in a couple of minutes. So then, what do we've got? So we have those people. So now we've got somebody, that's 3 of them, right? So now the fourth totally loves, honors, and respects themselves. And every day they humble themselves down to their creator and say, thank you for creating me and allowing me to exist and being an eternal being. So that's the teamwork that makes the dream work. And that person will heal from even, well, you better go home and get your things together, and you better give your family what you want. And if you need to go on a holiday, do it. You've only got so much time to live. So here's the deal. Never bow down to any, and never bow down or humble down to anybody on this planet. Ever.
Right.
Not to me. Not to anyone else. And when a doctor says to you, you've got 6 months to live, he is absolutely right if you want to become a statistic. So if you're going to eat like everyone else, drink like everyone else, think like everyone else, and believe like everyone else, then he's right on the money. But soon as you change the rules, and what would those rules be? Totally forgiving and honoring and respecting yourself and giving praise to your creator. Hey, death is off the board now, because you can be reborn. So as soon as you realize that your reality is based on your personality. So when you came here, do you feel any different than you did 5 days ago?
Absolutely.
What do you feel different about yourself?
I feel like I'm more in my body, and I'm more in touch with nature, in myself, my deeper self. I feel like I've taken time for myself, given myself self-care, and this time to just work on me.
Yeah, but do you actually think that you're going to be able to honor that goddess inside of you? or are you going to keep on going on? Because Renee, when you got here, you know, you still have the burden of
Life.
draining your family of their money,
Right.
and not
Doctor
getting
to
yourself
doctor.
not getting yourself well, and having all this guilt. So here's the deal: if you go home with the guilt,
Right.
now remember, you have a program at home, don't you? You run a program with your husband, you run a program with your family, you run a
Yeah.
program with your friends, and you're Renee the weak, you're Renee the sick. Am I right or wrong?
Right. That's how it's perceived. That's how
So
it's been happening.
you do understand that your personality creates your reality.
Right. I have to get more in touch with myself and love myself. And
No,
take
you need
care
to
of
you need to hold the loving line, because when you go home, everybody's going to think you haven't changed, and they're not prepared for you to change. So they want you to stay the same. Did you know that your husband doesn't want you to change? His heart does, but his subconscious doesn't, because he's so used to being that way. Understand, people are dying today because of their subconscious. They're poisoning themselves today because of their subconscious. If I ask anybody how's your bowel movement, does your family love each other? Do you believe you eat right? Everybody's going to say yes. And only 1 out of 10,000 people totally honor, respect, and love themselves.
Right.
Did you get that while you've been here for the 5 days?
That's what I'm working on creating, more and more of that, because I ultimately am in charge of myself, and it's all a self-serve job.
Yeah, but you haven't been in charge of yourself.
I haven't, but it's
So
unconscious.
what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make sure that you are in charge?
I'm going to take time to take care of myself. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to get quiet. I'm going to go out in nature. I'm going to do things that I love and enjoy, and I'm going to just check in with myself instead of letting life just unfold. I'm going to take time to breathe. I'm going to take time to ask myself and to ask my Creator and connect with my Creator on where I should be focusing, what I should be doing.
So your words matter. So that means that your words matter. And so the most important thing that you could do, or that Renee could do, is, you know what? Don't watch how other people speak. Watch how you speak.
Right.
Don't watch how other people think. Look how you think.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. When you hope you're going to get well, good luck with that one. And that's all we have. That's the same thing as, you know, I see pain management clinic. I don't want somebody to manage my pain.
Right.
I want mastering your pain.
Right.
Because you have to master your pain, because your pain is a normal life-saving device.
Right.
I love my pain. My pain tells me when I'm off track.
It's feedback.
Yeah, but guess what? But people don't, it's not feedback.
Well,
People have made pain an enemy.
Right.
And when you make pain an enemy, then that means that you're out to destroy yourself. And you're going to need a lot more than hope.
Right.
And understand something, hope never got anybody well. No. And you know what? You can have 100 people praying for you, and you will get well, because in prayer, you will get well. But they can't pray for you every day. So we need to make those changes. We need to understand that we've got to let ourselves off the hook completely.
We do.
Are you going to let yourself off the hook for not feeling guilty about being unwell for this long?
Right. It's a process, but I know
No,
that
but
I can
it's not a process. It's now.
in the present moment.
So guess what? Then that means that you believe that if you let yourself off the hook instantaneously for being unwell for this
So
long, then you believe that you are selfish and self-centered, because you believe that your family wants you to suffer. And if you do not suffer because you've spent money and spent time not looking after yourself, and you do not suffer for it, then you
Right.
might go where? You're going to go to hell? What's going to happen here, Renee?
Right.
So
Things
this
will get
suffering,
worse.
this suffering that you do in your mind, in bed, in your
Right.
head, that nobody else knows that's going on.
Right.
Okay, you're not getting credit for it.
Right.
So you need to let your husband know that you're suffering 24/7. And as long as you suffer 24/7, which you've been doing,
I have.
you're never going to get well.
Right.
So then he doesn't like you not being well, because he wants to hold you, love you, have
Live
energy,
life,
create life, and create this.
Right.
But guess what? It's your program.
Right.
You are unworthy to be well because of the money you spent, the time you wasted,
All the things I did. Yeah.
and you didn't. You made that up. So here's the biggest point that I want to leave you with.
Okay.
You're toast. Because you're still hoping, you're not knowing. You're not knowing that you were created by God.
Yeah.
You were forgiven before you even did anything. This whole sinner thing, failure thing, unless we fail, we don't learn. I'll fail 1,000,000 times today, and I will just pick myself up and I'll say, what can I learn from this?
Right.
And if you don't say, what can I learn from this to grow?
Right.
Then you'll never know.
Right. Those thoughts aren't helping me. They're not helping me.
Well,
They're
that's
keeping
what-
me stuck in the past, even though it's...
Well, that's why you've been sick for years. You haven't been sick for years because you have a physical ailment. You've been sick for years because you have a sick mind. You are not sick like sick mind, but you have thoughts
Dysfunctional beliefs.
in your mind that you are unworthy to let yourself off the hook for the money you cost your family,
Right,
for the
the
suffering.
burden. Yeah.
So now, because you did it, you have to pay 100 times more than the suffering you caused them. And let me tell you something. Every family says whoever suffers the most loves the most in this family.
Right.
And we teach our women to suffer for the children, suffer for the men. And why do you think every 40-year-old woman in here, around 40 or 50-year-old woman comes in, I'm only a shell. I'm only a shell. I don't even know what it is to be me. I don't even know what self-love is.
Right.
Right.
It's having to relearn that. It's practicing the mirror work and
I know, but
loving
if you,
yourself.
but if you're going to
reprogram.
if you're going to say to me, I'm working on forgiving myself, I'm going to tell you you're never going to.
It has to be right now.
You
in the
just said
present.
to me that I put myself in judgment jail and I gave myself a life sentence, which you did unknowingly. And you're saying, well, the negotiations are still going on, Daryl, and I may be let out for good behavior at some point. But at this point, I need to suffer for all the suffering I've caused my family.
Not helpful.
Well, I'm going to tell you, with the mindset that you have, and you're leaving when?
I'm leaving tomorrow.
You're toast.
I want to learn as much as I can.
No, there's nothing to learn. There's nothing to learn.
I feel like
There's nothing to learn.
Nothing to learn.
There's total forgiveness. If you could learn total forgiveness in every present moment, like here's a present moment. No, there's another present moment. Oh, there's another present moment. So if you could just forgive yourself totally with every present moment
Right.
and say, what can I learn from that?
What can I learn from this?
You would be healed
Like that.
in an instant, because that's how fast our Creator can allow us to heal when we allow ourselves to heal. Our Creator wants it for us. Source, Creator, God, call,
Right.
whatever you want, okay?
Right.
All right? We are not sinners.
No.
No, we're not sinners.
We're loved.
Okay? And understand, our children come down here and we adulterate them.
Yeah.
And then we punish them. Okay?
Program them.
No, we don't. We were programmed. Listen, corporations and government and systems out there, they program us to feed off of our fear, to feed off of our pain,
Right.
and to cause us to give our money back to them
Yeah.
for the corruption they cause inside of us.
Dependency on them.
That's right. And they make us they take away our independence.
Right.
And when did they do that? Because they took away our spirit.
Right.
When's the last time that you had your spirit, Renee?
Well, I feel like when I'm out in nature and I'm quiet, I feel connected to my nature. I get in touch with
Okay,
it.
so guess what? So what I want you to do is I want you to go get a backpack, and I want you to go live up into the wilderness and have a good life. Okay? And have a good life. That absolutely made no sense.
It doesn't-
No, because people say to me, Daryl, do you meditate? And I say, my day is a meditation.
Right.
Okay,
Your
because
life is a
so how do you make your life a meditation? You stay connected to your breath. You take nothing personal.
Right.
You need no one's approval, and you need never to be forgiven. Now, if I intentionally hurt you, I'm going to say sorry, but don't expect to hear sorry from me. I'll apologize if I hurt anyone. But just because your beliefs don't match mine, and you're going to have a tantrum, don't expect me, okay? Don't expect me to go, okay, that's fine, I'm going to do that. I'm going to totally honor, respect, and love myself first and foremost, and it's impossible for me to hurt anyone. Did you know that? Do you know what people hurt people? Hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
That's right. I'm not hurt. I don't care if you like me. I love you anyway.
I love you.
I know that, but there's people out here that don't like me. because my beliefs don't match theirs. And I love them anyway, and I swear to God, I really do. And you know why I do? Because for every person that you don't like, if you don't like your government, you don't like taxes, you don't like terrorists, those terrorists that are always coming after us, those make-believe terrorists are in here. But every time that you dislike something or hate something,
Right, you hurt yourself.
you're using the outside world to feed a program that you're running. It has nothing to do with that. The world's never going to change. The world's always going to be at war. People are always going to be at war with themselves.
Yeah.
Only 1 out of 10,000 people are going to understand joy and freedom and inner peace. We do know there was a major study done, and the majority of the population only experienced 2% joy a day. And you know what? You can say that's not true, and I'm telling you, just look around you. People say, well, why aren't you smiling? Why don't you feel grateful? Well, there's nothing to be grateful for. See, I don't need a reason to smile. And I don't need anybody to fill up my heart, because it's filled already. Because just thinking about my Creator that created me has given me enough love, and I understand that I'm going to live. I'm eternal. So that this is just another game that we're down here playing. And if you could learn to totally honor, love, and trust yourself, you'd already be there. And your husband would want that for you. But believe it or not, your husband is actually part of your sickness. Your children are part of your sickness. Because once you run a program, a dysfunctional program for more than 9 months, everybody thinks that's the program, and everybody's looking to keep triggering that dysfunctional program. You run a positive program for 9 months, and everybody wants to feed the positive program.
New game.
Okay, because your subconscious is just a filing cabinet. It's got beliefs in it. It doesn't care if they're good or bad, just the prominent ones. So that's why, a heroin addict knows they're killing themselves, but they're still going to do heroin. Okay?
Getting something out of it.
Well, no, because when they were younger, they were told that they weren't good enough who they were.
Right.
So they opted to be someone else. So we do that with food, we do that with alcohol, we do it with even vaping. 80% of the high school kids are vaping now, or toking, or doing both. So here's the deal. This afternoon I'm doing a Q&A, if you're still hanging in here and you didn't get bored of us. And that will be at 3 p.m. this afternoon. You can type your questions in if you have them. Challenge me. You can say anything you want to me, because I won't take it personal, because there are 1,500 different religions, and there are so many different nationalities, and everybody's got different thoughts. And you are who you are today because of this belief and this belief and this belief, and take them into a mixing bowl, and then that's your personality. And if you're sick or you're suffering today, then you need to get some of those ingredients and just take some of those out. And I want to help you with that, because I want you to bake the most beautiful cake that you could bake. And understand something, hope don't float.
Hope don't float.
Yeah, you better know it or you're going to blow it. And this is why I'm going to keep on training, okay?
Thank you.
All right? Because you don't have to be on the pain train, okay? You can be the engineer that drives that train.
You're teaching people how to fish for themselves instead of being dependent on a system. By doing the training, you're empowering people to take it, more power into their own hands, and not have to be on a system.
And that's right.
So grateful for that.
Yeah, that's right.
I just love that about you, Dr. Wolfe.
Oops. Thanks, Renee.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for joining us and letting us do our Friday rant. All right? God bless everyone.
God bless.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.